Hello and welcome to episode 318 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
Yes, the Wall 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram. We're at 77 Club Podcast on X, and we're also on Spotify and YouTube. Please subscribe.
Jack Williams is here.
Hi, everybody.
And we have a special guest as well, Sutty. Hi, Sutty. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, chaps. How are you?
Down in the dumps, football shit, and Christmas will bankrupt me. But apart from that, we're full of festive cheer. Harry, let's start with the loss to Manchester United. Obviously, a little bit strange, this game, because it was against the backdrop of a fan protest. How many would you say were outside the ground on Waterloo Road to begin with?
Yeah, well, we were just speaking before we come on, weren't we? It's got to be a 3,000 or 4,000, I'd say. And out of the two protests that were organised, for some reason going into it, I thought that one would be the least followed, if you get what I mean. But probably out of the two, that was probably the most turned up for. I mean, we could probably get onto the 15-minute one. A lot did do it, but I thought maybe more could. But yeah, it was really good to see that many people, and it just proves how angry people are and how much they've had enough of the leadership at Wolves and the owners. And it was good to see. It's good to see all the flags, good to see all the Jeff Shout banners and things like that. I know there was a bit of controversy with them shutting the blinds. That didn't go down that well, but it's just the start, isn't it? And it was organised very late as well. It was kind of, I think the Forest game tipped a lot of people over the edge, the loss against Forest in the week. So I think, from the Forest game to that Monday night game against Man United, it was just kind of put out there, wasn't it, on social media, and it caught traction. And fair play to all the fans that turned up there, because it certainly sent out a message loud and clear, didn't it?
Jack, I thought Sky actually covered it quite well. Lots of pictures before the game of empty seats.
Yeah, it was good of them, because you never know how much A, it's going to be picked up by the mainstream media, or B, even covered really. But I think the fact that there was obviously visible spaces in the crowd just before kickoff, they had to kind of mention it really, and they called out the letter, and they gave us a shout out, didn't they, on the commentary, which I noticed, which was nice. They said we were one of the signatories to it, so it's nice that they didn't just ignore it or weren't instructed to. They it sort of put us on the main stage a little bit with the frustrations that we're having, just because obviously Monday Night Football, all football fans watch Monday Night Football, don't they? It's kind of one of the big things, so it's sort of got our sort of our concerns and our plight out there a little bit. So yeah, especially considering it was, as you say, quite short notice, it did quite well. I think the only thing that was, there was also at the start though, there was also still quite a lot of people who were in the ground. So I'd say there was big patches, but quite a lot of people who weren't supportive of it, or maybe I think probably just didn't actually know in time. So maybe next time when something's done, now that this word of mouth's come around, it's been all over the TV cameras, you'll pick up a bit of traction.
Bit of a snowball effect, isn't it? Sutty, a lot of love for you in the comments section. You were in amongst it as well. Just give us your view, why you were there, what you're hoping to achieve.
Evening, everyone. I think it's pretty public knowledge that I'm sort of pretty much against this regime that own our club. I'm not going to call them owners. I don't think they're good owners. They don't deserve to be called owners, to be honest. I've been vocal, and people have seen me with certain flags. I was the person that sort of started the Taiwan flag off, and everybody sort of got on board with it, which is brilliant, to be honest. It's not a dig at people of Chinese culture as such. It's basically to get their attention, because it's a bit of a stab in the back to them, to be honest, but I don't really care. They've been stabbing me in the back for 4 years, likewise everybody else in the comments. And the other night, nobody really knew what to expect, because this was discussed on a concourse at Villa Park at half-time the week before, and nothing was still organised until Thursday night. So as soon as the call was put out, the troops rallied, and it was very good for a first one, and I think people had their voices heard. Not everybody wants to join in. That's your choice. That's fine. But likewise, if we want to protest, we shouldn't be slagged off either. I won't have anybody who doesn't want to protest sort of get hounded on, and that like I say, that is their choice. But likewise, when we want to protest, we will. So don't hound us. We've got a right to air our views, and it went very well. And majority stayed out till 8:15. There were a lot on the concourses. There were a lot inside, but as a visual protest in the biggest game viewed in 52 countries worldwide on a Monday night, that's a real smash up the ear hole to them, and they won't like that at all.
And you've been doing the rounds in the media around the world. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that came about and what the reaction's been?
Well, yeah, I mean, Harry's got a shout out in it as well today. So, yeah, I had a call off, a message off a journalist from Taiwan, and asking me about why I decided to use their flag. As it's obviously not their flag, but it's pretty obvious it's been derived from their flag. And I just led him into the story. We've had enough. Given the background of Wolverhampton Wanderers from the 50s onwards, when we were bigger than Real Madrid, the best club side in world football, and he took to it, and he wrote an article about it and posted it today, and I think it's gone down great in Taiwan.
Harry, letter's gone out tonight. I will read it out. The boycott and protest update from the Wolves fan groups, which includes the 77 Club. First off, thank you to every single fan who stood with us for the 15-minute boycott. It was powerful. Empty seats on live TV sent a message that can't be ignored. The football world is watching and we're not going away. Did it work? It was a small win in what will be a longer fight. We proved fans are united and ready to push for answers. This isn't about conflict. It's about ambition, pride, and the values Wolves was built on. Has the club / Fosun responded? No, there's been no acknowledgement, and that speaks volumes. Fans have made their feelings clear, yet the leadership remains silent. If they truly value this fan base, it's time to step up and engage. What's next? Plans for the next stage are already being formalised. Fan groups are talking. Ideas are flowing and support is growing. We're also working to bring even more fan groups into these discussions. We're not going away. And one important point, any announcements about protest or action will only involve us if they come from our socials. The noise won't stop because this is our club and we demand the best. This is our club. We all have a voice. Updates to follow. Harry, what are your thoughts on what happens next?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm in the WhatsApp group with all the lads that put that letter together. The old goal pack have been leading the way recently. Fair play to them, because they went out on their own and just did it, because there was quite a lot of indecisive thoughts in that group. A lot of it was waiting for the trust and to see what they wanted to do, because they're officially aligned with the club or something. The club speak to them a lot. I know there was an article that went out today or something from their meeting with Jeff 2 weeks ago, which is probably irrelevant now, because a lot of what's said in there will probably have changed after the protests and after how bad we've been the last few games. But I don't really want to say, but it's up to them. And I know there's protest plans, you can imagine. I thought there would be for Brentford. I know Shrewsbury's being touted, but nothing's in stone yet. But I think with the protests going forward as well, for one, for how well they went. Two, they've completely ignored us. And I think what rolled people up even more, and we'll see more people participate in it, is, as I mentioned a minute ago, them shutting the blinds. And the big one for me, which I know they've said was for safety reasons, was turning the tellies off in the concourse while people were down in the concourse doing the 15 minutes. I think that was such a bad thing to do, because it does look like that they're just doing it just to try and get people in their seats. And they did it in the disabled area as well, which maybe they're all linked, the tellers, I don't know, but that's a really bad look too. So yeah, and it's been, I mean, fair play to Sutty. I think Sutty's probably one of the earliest people I've seen like start going against Fosun. And when did you actually start to think, Sutty, sorry to take over your job, Sam, but when did you actually start to think, right, Fosun are no good? Because obviously we had the golden years. For me, I think the time when I was a bit like, oh, this ain't looking good here, was probably the January time under Bruno Lage with the Adama Traore stuff, when they let him go to Barcelona. But when did you start to turn on them? Sorry, when did you start to think, I don't like these as owners now?
Well, the very first time, which really got me angry, probably got a lot of people angry, was watching Nuno walk down the tunnel. Ejected figure for the last time in a quarter empty stadium because of COVID. And I can remember sitting at home and looking round at my family saying they want to have got this right. And I don't think they ever got it right. And like Bruno Lage, everything was structured under Nuno, wasn't it? If you think back, everything was like clockwork. Even when they used to come out at half time, they used to do little shuttle runs. No one walked out onto the pitch after half time. Little shuttle runs, had to do all their little exercise. We've never had that since. They just trot out on the pitch. I mean, we've got players now when they're getting subbed, they're walking on the pitch. They don't give a flying fuck. They're shit. But it was then really, and then when they didn't back Bruno Lage when he asked for a centre forward, when we were on the brink of getting into the top four. That to me is almost like scuttling your own ship. That proved to me that there's an ulterior motive here, and I started watching them closely, and I started claiming 3 years ago publicly that they're not in this for the reasons that we want them to be in this, and I think I've been proved right.
Jack, what is the best outcome for all this? Because the protests have been brilliant. It's been coordinated. I think it is being noticed by the right people, and including the broadcasters and pundits alike. So where does this go? What's the end game?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because Fosun, they've been around a few years now, and they've clearly wanted to. At the start, they did invest. You can't really take that away from them, but not necessarily just in Wolves and the football club, but the whole brand. Just with everything, really, they wanted to exploit the logo and go and do some different things with it and try and grow the brand in Asia, really. So it's a case now of really what can we do? What would Wolves fans be happy with? Just a change in Jeff Shee still remaining under Fosun, or have we gone past that point now that we've just had enough with Fosun altogether? Because I think whatever happens now, the relationship with Jeff Shee is done. I don't think it's rebuildable. Even the days of him buying Jaeger bombs before Brentford away or whatever it was, they're long gone, aren't they? Because it's just been so sour, and it's really come to when you're doing well, it's okay, but it's really come to the light in the last few years. His just naivety about how football works, because it was so good for the first few years. I think they just thought, oh, this is really easy. We've taken us 2 years. We've gone up through the Championship. We've finished 7th twice. That's us now. We're established. That's it. And in the Premier League, you can't, you see it from every team, really. You can't just keep selling your assets and trying to bring in players and replace them without going backwards. And we've had that trajectory now from those 7th place finishes. Everything's been going down. Everything's been going down a little bit in league position. But their approach hasn't changed. That's the really frustrating thing, is that they do exactly the same the next season. They leave it late to buy transfer, to bring players in. They move on their assets, for a profit. They change the manager and they think, oh, okay, that'll just paper over the cracks. And now that the shit's really hit the fan, they don't know what to do. They're completely clueless. And I think you can probably go into sort of wider problems now about, is it because of the way Fosun as a company has changed in the last few years, particularly with the amount of money they have and they're willing to spend on that? And if that's the case, then we do need a complete change of ownership, because you don't buy a football club to necessarily make money and make profit. It does work in some certain circumstances, but those clubs have really great football heads in key positions who really know the game inside and out and really can prepare for these sort of things. And Fosun don't have that, and they can't just necessarily go out and employ it and buy it. So if they've lost interest, then we have to have a change of ownership, but that's never usually a good thing. And you can go back and just sort of say, I understand why people are sort of apprehensive, because Fosun has given me the best Wolves team that I've seen in my lifetime. But that was 4 or 5 years ago now. And since then, everything's been downhill. And we know from experience that once we goes down this route, it's not unfeasible for us to have successive relegations or quick-fire relegations, and suddenly you're in League One, the club's making no money, Fosun aren't interested, and we've seen it with Chinese owners before. They lose interest and it gets dangerous. Look at Birmingham, previously. So we don't want that situation. So whatever's damage limitation, and just make sure we're sustained for next season and can actually compete even in the Championship, which, considering where we were, is just hilarious that we're even saying that.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you talk about Birmingham City and the mess that those Chinese owners left them in. I mean, we're looking at the Birmingham City blueprint now and going, oh, that's what you need to do. That's great foresight. It is crazy how quickly things can change and turn around. But Sutty, same question for you, I think. Where's the end game? Because I suppose the protest bit in the grand scheme of things is probably the easier bit. What's the end game?
Well, first and foremost, we've got to get a new chairman in, and not just a rinse and repeat chairman that's coming from Fosun International. You've got to have somebody in there with a bit of football knowledge. You wouldn't ask me to sell your car for you at the best price or whatever if I was a double glazing salesman, would you? Jeff, he knows nothing about football, absolutely nothing. What really gets me, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent a little bit here. Before people say, oh, you know, because I keep hearing this as well. I see it in comments about, oh, they bankroll us for 30 million a year. That they do bankroll this club for 30 million a year. That's absolute fact. And they don't take money out of this football club. There's no money being taken out. They can't do that. It's not allowed. You can't just go and whip a quick 50 quid out of the cash point of Wolves bank account. But what they do get from us is they get worldwide exposure for Fosun International. Now, anybody in marketing will know how much and how valuable advertising is. And if you can get it on a worldwide scale, that costs billions every year, billions of pounds in every country. I think the Premier League is screened to something like 112 countries, and it's got 1 billion viewers per week. And Fosun International is part of that advertising. That they may be bankrolling us for £30 million, but what they're making out of free advertising from that is huge. And there lies your problem why they don't really want to get rid of us. They're perfectly happy for us to be in 17th, and that's what our benchmark is every year now. Finish 17th in the Premier League because the three that come up are utter dross. Well, unfortunately, they ain't been this year, have they? And they've rinsed our backsides when we've played them. So that one hasn't worked this year. But we've got to get Jeff out first. The long game would be a nice rich owner from America or Qatar or somewhere like that that's going to give us. I'm not saying I want to win the Premier League every year. I'm not saying I want to be in the Champions League every year. I just want to go to a football match like we used to under Nuno, thinking we can do these. These don't frighten. They're frightened of us. More frightened of us because we're a banana skin to the top 6 at the moment, and I want to be back at those years. I don't, get in the Farmers League, the European Farmers League, or the Europa League. That'd be brilliant. Do that every other year. Absolutely fantastic, and we'd all be happy with that. The odd little cup run, just sustained. Sort of 7th to 11th every year. Everybody would be on board with that because we know what we are. But don't give us this bullshit that we had a great window in the summer and then we end up with 2 points after 15 games. I mean, I can't actually see us winning another game. But like I say, the long game is we need to keep this up and get this owner to sit up and think and come to the table and actually tell us what his intentions are with this great football club.
So I want to push you on it a little bit, Sutty, that changing Jeff Shee and then you're happy. Is that what you're saying?
Not really, no.
So where do you go?
I would like a new owner, but that's going to take a long time. Football clubs don't get sold overnight, do they?
No.
And I think we're down, aren't we? Let's be honest. We're not coming back to this. But if they bounce straight back, I think they will actively be looking to sell us then when we bounce straight back. I think the wrath of and the relationship between, I would say 50% of people who go to the ground now, match day experience, are probably thinking, we've had enough of this. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said to you earlier, I stood on the terraces on Monday night and I was laughing at my own players. They were that in it.
Yeah, same. What situation to be in? But I mean, Harry, I got to open it up to you as well and let you have your say on what's the best possible outcome.
Yeah, well, I agree. Short term, Jeff Shee, I think, like you said, Sam, he's positioned. He's completely lost all trust within the fan base, so he should definitely go in the short term. I know that the talk from Fosun is if he is to go, they'll just replace him with another Chinese man to come in as CEO or chairman, but it's not good enough, is it? It's not. And long term, yes, I would like them to sell because I do feel like they've lost interest. They took us to the peak of what they could, in my opinion. I agree if we go down, and I think it's quite widely known that they definitely won't sell us in the Championship because of the value of the club will plummet. if they got us back up and sustained us for a few years mid-table, maybe then they would. But Jeff said himself in that fan trust release today that they get contacted a lot with offers to buy Wolves, and they always turn it down. That's what he said, and he said like the rumours of them being Fosun wanted to sell them is not true. But I think I saw a great video on. Do I believe Jeff?
Yeah.
Not really. I don't believe anything he says, but maybe, I believe people do contact, or at least maybe do. Was it Texter recently, the Palace bloke? He tried to offer some shares deal, but we talk about it all changed around COVID, but the government changed in China. They said don't invest in football. That's why Fosun are the only Chinese owners left in England, and they had that massive surge, didn't they, back in like 2016 era, was it, when they had that Super League and they got all the like Tevez and that over there. They started to love football, and then that all went to pot. And for some reason, Fosun just decided to stay with us. And from then on, that was when Jeff started coming out in the Ask Wolf series and saying we're now a self-sufficient club. After Nuno left, it was we're sell to buy, and that's when the downward trajectory started. And I agree with Sutty. You don't know anything about football, Jeff. He don't. Before he come in, we've said on previous podcasts, he did not know hardly anything about football. And he said himself in his interview with the club, the in-house interview, he said that he was recommending players to like Vitor and Tete and Matt Jackson. Jeff Shee was recommending players. How is that allowed? That's like laughable. That's amateur stuff. I wouldn't trust Jeff Shee to pick a player to play for Wolves. He ain't got a clue what he's on about. He said in the Business of Sport interview that about tactics under Nuno that we were lucky and that we were a slow team, but then all of a sudden he said we're fast on the counter. He thought Fabio Silva was the next coming of Steve Ball. Like, I just don't get how this bloke, he's got so much say, and I don't like the fact that all final decisions lie with him. And because of that, we're in this position. So yes, short term, please get rid of Jeff Shee. If Fosun are refusing to sell because they like the badge for their esports stuff and that, get in someone really good as the CEO or chairman and get good people around him. Like when they first come in and we had Dale Rimple, Kevin Falwell. I know like the George Mendes links worked at first, but they've come out, haven't they, and said, nope, that's it now under Rob. We're just getting people from our own scouting stuff, and we're just probably going to get British players and that in. They're trying to go away from George Mendes. They said the same 2 years ago, and they've kept using him the last few years for little players and managers. But yeah, so I know I've been rambling, but that's my answer to the question.
No, I like it. Jack, obviously a couple of weeks away from January. What are your predictions for January? Because, I mean, you could throw, what's the saying, throwing bad money after good.
You could give us a blank checkbook and Pep Guardiola and we still get relegated. So I honestly don't think anything could get us out of this situation. The fact that it's nearly Christmas and we got 2 points, just shambolic, really. It's everyone thought it was going to be bad, but I don't think anyone thought it could possibly be this bad. And it has been. So I don't know. But then part of me sort of thinks with the things that the players come out saying in these press conferences, like before the Man United game, Bellegarde put out that he wants to sort of bring the spirit of Haiti into the Wolves dressing room to get us out of this predicament. It's like, as he looks at the table, like, are they actually deluded, or where's this stuff coming from? Because it's completely a lost hope. And Jeff Shee saying, oh, it's okay, we'll back Rob Edwards in January. Like, I know it's worked a few times, but we didn't have 2 points then. We at least had won a few games. So I know what happened under Lopetegui and it happened under Pereira as well, where throwing some money at January did come in and help, but it's gone now. And the problem is that the players and the couple of assets we do have, because let's be honest, most of them have been terrible. They all want out of this shit show, don't they? Let's be honest. Why would you want to hang around here? Because I agree with Sutty. There's been stages this season, Fulham away, one of them, where I was just laughing in the stands at how bad it was. It was just hilarious. And the players don't want that. Some of them got a World Cup coming up and they want to make sure that they're in with the squad. And if you're getting battered every week and laughed off the pitch, then it's not good preparation for going and performing in North America. So I don't know what they'll do, but part of me just thinks Jeff's ego and his naivety, there's part of him that still thinks, A, he can turn it round, or B, that we can get out of this, and we can't. And the problem then goes back to value again, because there was rumours that deal was worth about, what, 400 million quid from the Palace guy, including shares and stuff. So if we go down, we're worth 40 million pounds. And Fosun have lost a massive amount on their investment. So I don't think they'll take it. They're going to have to try and rebuild. But in order to do that, you need to invest and you need to get people who know what they're doing. And again, I don't think Jeff's ego will potentially allow it. That's the thing. It's just, it's shaping up to just be, everyone can see it, but it could be like, it looks bad now. it could be even worse in 12 months' time. Like really bad.
It can. Sutty, talk to me about transfers. You know any info?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they're already working their own route out of this club because they're just rats, aren't they? All of them. None of them are loyal, are they? But Strand Larsen, Andre Gomez, Arias, I'd sell a lot in January. You're going down. You've got to get 100 million quid. Your only problem is yes, you've got parachute payments, but you're going to lose 100 million pound off your income in 1 year. So that I've got a funny feeling Jeff will take that 100 million quid and make the spreadsheet look a bit better for next year instead of spending on any quality. But we might as well sell them because that's their optimum price in January. No good waiting until the summer when we've still got 2 points after 38 games because they'll be worthless. So you might as well sell them now. They don't want to be here. I mean, Andre's body language is shocking. Strand Larsen, Jesus Christ, I could smack him up the ear hole. I really could.
Did you see him? I don't know if you want to bring this up, Stan, but when he got the death stare at the South Bank, when he got ironically cheered, I was like, oh.
Death stare, you know. Honestly, you'd laugh at him if you seen him do that to you on a night out on a Saturday. He's a fanny because he falls over at every opportunity. Yeah. Can't hold a ball, can't trap a ball, can't head a ball, and he's 6'4". I mean, the likes of Bull, who watch every game at home, must be thinking, what is this kid on? Because you might as well sell him. Get rid. I'm annoyed now. We never got the 60 million for him in the summer.
It's one of them, isn't it? Because if we'd have been in this predicament, if we'd have sold him and still been in this predicament, it would have been
we'd have blamed that
of selling him. I mean, I'm in two minds whether we should have, just to show just really how bad we are, rather than laying it at the feet of Strand Larsen being some sort of saviour, which he just hasn't been, and clearly had his head turned by Newcastle. But you know, he's meant to be a professional footballer, Harry. You know, these things happen all the time. But if you're performing well and you're getting 14 goals in the Premier League season in your debut season, you're going to be turning heads. I mean, Raul's head would have been turned many times over, but you wouldn't have seen him acting like this.
No, it's a strange one with Strand Larsen, because I agree with what you just said there, Sam. In the summer, I was like, we've got to keep him. We've got to have any hopes. We've got rid of everyone else. But he's been so bad. And his value is probably more than halved from that Newcastle bid, hasn't it? For the way he's been performing. And again, early on in the season when we were playing the likes of Burnley and he kept like throwing his hands up at the crowd. You're like, mate, you start performing yourself, or you start telling me to cheer you on. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's been diabolical, and the ironic cheers towards him. Look, the way he's performed the last two games against Forest and Man United, you can't be surprised. He was good at Villa, to be fair. It's probably the only good game I can think of he's had this season, barring the Carabao Cup against West Ham. But yeah, I think he'll be looking for a way out, like Sutty said. He'll be looking for a way out in January. If he goes in the summer, God, we'll probably only get about 20 million for him if he don't score, which I don't think he will, many more goals throughout this season. And Andre, I love Andre, but my God, him for that first goal against Man United, I have got no idea what he was doing. Like, that was just laughable. And then obviously Fernandes falling over. We haven't even spoke about the game. There's no point, is it? Because they're all idiots. But yeah, half of them will be going. I agree.
Replay last week's episode, or any episode from this season. Jack, just on the game, it does seem that Andre has this ability to not want to pass to Muller-Wolf.
Yeah. I mean, Harry's called out a few times in the past, hasn't he? But that first goal was just the ideal example of it. It was poetry in motion, because he had so many opportunities to release the ball, and instead he turns back, and God knows what he was doing. It was just an absolute shambles. And I thought Muller-Wolf was probably one of our better players on the day. So really, to not want to pass to him is just bizarre. But I think for a while now, his head's been gone, hasn't it? Because I think he's a bit annoyed about. Sold the dream of like, we should be pushing for Europe. This is a great move for you. In a few years, you can go to a top 6 club, wherever it might be. Since then, we've just been fighting relegation all the time. Fans are on the back, and it's just been the complete opposite. Then he learns out that Menetzi's getting paid more than him, so I wouldn't be asked either, really, to be brutally honest. So I just play it back and just get yourself out as quickly as possible. If the fans hate you, at least you can sit on the bench and you have to play in this absolute shambles of a team.
What did you think of it, Sutty? Because I mean, it was nice to score a goal, because I've forgotten what it feels like to do so. Because what was it in the end? Was it the 26th of October. It would have been that Burnley game, the last one we scored. Did it go 9 hours?
Yeah, it's like 9 hours of football, yeah.
9 hours without a goal, let alone a win. Sutty, that first half performance. But then again, it's the fucking hope that kills you when you think, oh, hang on. And Amorim came out in the week and said, well, nobody's gone a full season without winning the game, so it could happen at any time. Andy Goldstein, I was listening to Talk Sport, was saying it is impossible for Manchester United to lose to Wolves, which obviously riled up all the Wolves fans. Tongue in cheek, I know, but I think he had a point, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I said last night, Monday night, actually, I said, benchmark this one because I don't think we'll win a game. I cannot see we're going to win a game. I think we've got, Arsenal could break the goal scoring record on Saturday against us. We're that bad. If Keanu Hoover's playing, God, they're going to have an absolute field day. He's one of the worst Premier League players I've ever seen. And I did say the other day as well that pro rata on how much we spent per player in my 48 years ago into Wolves, this is the worst team and squad I've ever seen. They are clueless. There's nothing there, is there?
No.
They're crap at the back. We've got crap goalkeepers. We're crap at the back. We're crap on the wings. We got 2 centre midfielders that are exactly the same. And we got forwards that don't know their arse from their elbow. We are shit.
So true.
Harry, speaking of which, I mean, these Arsenal match facts, they'll make you squirm. Arsenal have won their last 8 Premier League games against Wolves, the longest winning run against an opponent since a run of 10 against Burnley from 2010 to 2019. Wolves have won just 1 of their last 14 away games against Arsenal, drawing 4, losing 9, losing the last 4 in a row since a 2-1 victory in November 2020. And we can probably say with quite an amount of certainty that game was probably where it started to all fall apart, wasn't it, with the Raul injury?
Yeah,
the horrific injury in that game behind closed doors during the COVID season. But are you excited for this one? 4-1 will be on, I'm sure.
No, I'm not excited. It's 8 o'clock Saturday night. I feel sorry for the people going down. I'm sure you're going, Sutty, aren't you? You on the way?
Actually, I'm not. I've got my
No, you're not.
father-in-law's 85th birthday this week, so I've got to pass out. So
do you know what?
I'm absolutely chuffed to bits, to be honest.
It's probably for the best, yeah. So I agree. This could, if we play like we did against Man United, particularly second half, this could be nearly double figure. It could actually be double figures. They score early, Arsenal. As silly as it sounds, it could be with the way we defend. With the way the players' attitude, I'll be interested. I'll be really interested just to see what players he goes with because he can't play the sort of team he's been playing the last few games. He just can't with their performance levels. I mean, Fair Lopez come on and give it a bit of a go, but he's going out on loan anyway, isn't he? Apparently, so do you throw the kids in? Maybe, but it's going to be embarrassing, and it's going to be on telly again. Hopefully, some fans have some she out banners in if they can get them in. Hopefully, that can catch some glimpses on the telly, but it's going to be a very, very long 90 minutes.
You've got to have probably something wrong with you, a bit of an idiot to want to go. Jack, what's your seat number for that one?
Yeah, I know, can't help myself. But 8 o'clock kickoff, I fully expect to be on the tube at 9:10 with us being 5-0 down. That's the reality of the situation. It's a shame because I don't really like Arsenal either. Like we've had in previous years, only you were there. We had some trouble coming out the ground a few times, haven't they? They're just a bunch of prats, and obviously doing quite well this season, but have been, bit ropey lately. So starting to sweat a little bit. So it'd be nice to think we could actually go there and do something. And if this was the Nuno era, I think we probably could. Whereas I'm going to be taking my abacus to just keep count on how many goals we let in. But it's not going to be pretty, is it? But you got to at least go with a little bit of hope. Maybe we'll be all right for 10 minutes.
Is there any hope?
No. None.
What's your give us a score prediction?
I said we'll break 2 records this year, and that one will be. Remember when Arsenal were the Invincibles and they never lost one season? Well, I think we won't win this season. I'm not joking. I do not see where we're going to win. We're cannon fodder to everybody, and I think we'll actually break the goals against in one game record this year, which is 9 at the moment. I think 9-0. I think we could have a double figures pumped up us somewhere on
Harry, we're going from the Invincibles to the Unwinnables. Clearly, I like the term. We'll coin it now. Do you think it could be that bad? What would your score prediction be?
Yeah, I think it'll be. My gut's telling me like 4-0 Arsenal. We'll probably keep them out for about 15 minutes, and then once they get the floodgates are open. A bit like Man United, wasn't it? I know we got 1 goal, but once the first goes in, they all give up, and they all look like. I mean, was it Rob Edwards actually was quoted as saying they look like school kids playing? That's coming from our own manager. Our own manager thinks that. We've got no hope, have we? So yeah, it could be 4 or 5. I'll go 4-0 Arsenal as a prediction.
Jack, what do you think it will... go on, you carry on.
No, I was just saying that at least Edwards is not trying to shield reality. At least he's being honest about it. So at least he's not coming in and saying, oh, just a few tweaks, we could have done this and that. It was a close game. At least he's saying it was an absolute headless chicken show. And that's the annoying thing, is the fact that we did have that little bit towards the end of the second half where we actually scored, and you go into half time and you think, hang on, maybe we can actually do something here. And we come out and we're pathetic from the off. We're just absolutely pathetic. So I don't know what you do with that, really, because there was just no fight there at all. We just waited to concede, and then once we conceded again, floodgates opened. But anyway, score prediction 5-0 Arsenal. I think that could be more than that, but they'll just feel sorry for us and take their foot off the gas. To be honest,
that's your half-time score prediction.
If we manage to shit out a 1-0, what are we going to say next week?
Jeff Shee's incredible. Don't worry about January.
But we've been saying this all season that I've got like this law of averages thing in my head, like where we've got to win a game eventually. We've got to win a game. Surely this week we've had something to cheer. We've had something, and then it just doesn't happen. It gets worse.
Do you think we'll beat Shrewsbury? Do you think we'll actually have a bit of joy there, or do you think that's even too far to ask?
In the cup or in League One in a couple of years?
Yeah, it's true. Maybe in League One. Yeah.
Do you know
we could have got rid of Strand Larson, Andre Gomez, and Arias by then, so they're probably as well.
Yeah. Well, we did say at the beginning of the season. I mean, we were sort of half joking when we said it, but would you take relegation if we won the FA Cup? And I think we all said yes. So we're actually on for a prediction to come true.
Yeah, we have to keep playing League 2 teams to have a chance, but we're halfway there.
I think I'd take relegation if we beat Shrewsbury. Like the way it's going.
No, it does. We get Walsall in the final and lose.
Or Albion.
Oh God! I mean, it's not looking like a happy Christmas period, is it? Sutty, I know you've said that there's not going to be a win on the cards potentially this season, but you must be looking at Liverpool and Manchester United over the Christmas period and thinking, I don't think I'm going to turn on the TV. I'm going to stick on Chicken Run again.
Well, I'm going. So I don't know why I do this myself, but I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to Liverpool. I think it'll be quite a poignant game because of the Jota of passing, and I think it'll just be a good game to go to. Even there, they'll thump us, won't they? But I'm not really going for that. I've given up hope on this season. I wish we could just stop it now, to be honest, and just it was pre-season and we knew what we were up against. But like I looked at I can see us getting to game 23 and still being on 2 points with the fixtures we've got coming up. United twice, Liverpool. I think there's Everton, Newcastle, West Ham, Brentford. I honestly, I'm not scaremongering here. I cannot see where there's another point coming from up to game 22 when I'm stood on the South Bank. The highlight of my night is putting that big banner up on 30 minutes and then laughing my dick off at the state of affairs in Old Gold. It's so bad, it's funny. Because if you were an opposition supporter, you would be howling at some of the mistakes that we make. We are awful. Yeah.
And like you said, Harry, that they are schoolboy errors, but then I think that's unkind to all schoolboys.
Yeah, true. And it's funny because after that first goal went in against Man U, the South Bank started singing, didn't they? What the fucking hell was that? And even the Man United fans were singing it. But if you listen to Jeff Shee, he actually said in the summer that you've got to ignore the first 14 games. So our season does actually start the weekend because of our transfer window. He said, let the players bed in for the first 14 and then we'll start from there. So our season starts now. So you've got to ignore the last 14 games, everyone. And let's concentrate now because all our players have now bedded in. They're up to speed now. In December.
On then, H.
Yeah, there we go. Ignore
that.
Top 6 is on now.
Going back to Monday Night Football quickly, and obviously it's watched by all football fans. So as soon as that first goal went in, my phone starts going off from Chelsea fans, Albion fans, Man United fans, like whoever, because everyone's watched it. They're like, "What the hell was that?" Like, what is like? I was
Been
like,
watching it all year.
You should, yeah, it's been the same every week. It's like it should be on the Comedy Channel, really, shouldn't it?
My Jay, you know Jay, don't you, Sam? He's a big United fan. He texts me throughout the day. You're going to beat us tonight. He's typical Man United. You ain't won a game. You'll beat. I said, Jay. I said, if you had watched one game of Wolves in the last 7 months, you would not be saying this, mate. You have got nothing to worry about. And then when Bellegarde equalised, he was like, "See, you're going to go on and win it now." I was like, Jay, you've had 25 shots to our 1. I don't think so. What did they end up having? About 40 shots to our 6 or something in the end. It was like watching a bloody exhibition at times. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Because again, goes back to the hope that kills you. But Sutty, I don't know if we've ever been in this situation where, I mean, Jack's talking about, the banter side of it. And we've had banter through the years, lots of different clubs. I remember when we used to be better than Villa, and it's really not that long ago. But it's the fact that everybody is feeling so sorry for us that actually kills me more, because it's not like, haha, you're fucking terrible. It's, oh my God, how do you put up with this?
Oh yeah, I've got mates from all the Midlands clubs and what have you. They've even stopped taking the piss out of me now. There's no piss take either. It's not even, because if this would have been them, I'd have been absolutely ripping them a new one. But I think there's a lot of sympathy there now. Why do we keep going back to this? And we went on to this last night saying it's almost like being addicted to a drug, isn't it? You just can't stop. You can't, even if you don't go on a Saturday afternoon, you will look at the score. Can't help it. It draws you back in every time. We're mad.
Oh, well, no, we must be, because I don't know why we do it ourselves. But Harry, I was talking to somebody earlier on, and we were talking about the League One season, and I said, if you offered me within the next 5 years, which is what it would have been, that we'd be promoted with 99 points, we'd finish 7th and get into Europe and go on a European tour, and then 5 years later you get relegated, would you take it? And I sat there and went, I would have taken it. So isn't it just that the good times are worth it?
Yeah, I don't know, but then if you'd have gone into detail about what's going on at the moment with the owners and that, you would take it, yeah, because those highs were amazing that period, wasn't it? I loved League One. I mean, I know we're a lot younger than Sutty, aren't we? I mean, Sutty, you could probably tell us about the 80s and things like that, the Steve Bull era. Like, obviously, we weren't around for that, but
it was brilliant. My favourite time in football, I was asked this the other night on a podcast, and I've like you lads will say, "Oh, the Nuno era and that."
Yeah,
mine was. I was 16 in '87 and allowed to go away from home on my own with all my mates. With a cheeky few cans of lager, and that was sort of the start of the 4th division. Where I don't know if you've seen footage of it. Our first away game was at Scarborough, and we had that many supporters inside the ground. They were sat on the roof, and one came crashing through the roof.
I've seen that. Yeah,
and then Graham Turner came on the pitch at half time with a megaphone and told us all, "We've got to behave, else we're getting kicked out of the Football League." And we just went you can imagine Wolves in the 4th division taking 3,000-4,000 away, and there's only 2,000 tickets, especially to a seaside resort like Scarborough or Torquay. The places were getting wrecked, and it was just the exuberance of youth, and it was brilliant.
It was just
they were
brilliant.
my favourite times. I've done 83 different grounds with Wolves, but I would never have done that amount of grounds without doing that lower league stuff. So yeah, we were shit, but we had something. We had players that wanted to come here and dig us out of a real dark hole after the Batty brothers, and it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Harry, thoughts on away games that you're looking forward to?
No, yeah, well, all we can compare to it really is we went, probably the most away games I've been to in a single season was the League One season 10 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. After the double dip and all the depression of that, it was actually nice, wasn't it? So I know it probably don't compare to what Sutty experienced back then watching Steve Bull and that, but yeah, I loved the League One season, and obviously once you taste that for the 1 year, thankfully we went straight back up. Then you want to get back to the Premier League, and obviously we eventually did when Fosun took over. But I'm just hoping that this dark dip we're having at the moment, it gets sorted with the owners, and then we can have good times again. Because I keep going back to it. We were all sat round at Slovan Bratislava at Barcelona, and we were all talking like, this is it. This is us now. This is us. We're going to be doing this maybe every other season, getting these European adventures. And then obviously COVID hit, and we had a sniff. Well, we've had a sniff. We nearly got back in the year after, didn't we? But because of the FA Cup final, we didn't. But I just cherish them moments now. Like it was a dream come true following Wolves in Europe, and it won't happen for a long time now. Even in that FA Cup run, as heartbreaking as that semi-final was, the memories, and it's the memories you create. That's why when Jeff come out with those horrendous quotes a couple of years ago saying, if you want European successful trophies, maybe Wolves ain't for you. It's fucking heartbreaking to hear, isn't it? When you want memories like that as a football
Well, that's
fan.
a sackable offence for me straight away.
Yeah.
He should have been sacked.
It's terrible. Terrible quotes.
Jack, have you got something positive to finish the podcast on?
Not particularly, but I do think there is something in it. I think the thing that I won't forgive him for the most, and I agree with what you said, Sam. Everyone would have taken that position a few years ago, with the fact that we've been playing in Europe and then got relegated 4 or 5 years later. But it's the fact that we had such a foundation to really kick on. Like, we were doing so well. We had a great manager, brilliant players, and we had that foundation of like, we can actually start to upset this pack here. And that was the dream we were promised. And they've taken a different route. They've taken this sell to buy thing, and we just slowly declined. And that's the real problem, is the fact that we could all see it coming for years and they've done nothing about it. That's the real sour taste for me. But I always say, and I say this to my friends who are, so-called fans of top 6 clubs, is that if you have the bad times, then you appreciate the good times a hell of a lot more. They mean so much more, and it'll be the same again. Like, it will get better at some point. Who knows when it'll be? But when they do come, we'll appreciate it a lot more than most people.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the European tour that we went on was amazing, because I know we were saying, Harry, that we were sat in bars in Barcelona sipping on sangria and drinking the lager, etc. But we did go all in, didn't we? We went balls deep into it, and I'm glad we did, because, like you say, but then again, as Jack said, it could come around. Reasons to be cheerful, but go on, Jack. Go on.
I genuinely regret, like, quite a lot, not going to Yerevan, because like it's now, because I thought we're going in Europe for years now. I'll probably pick and choose, but I wish I'd done it, because I'll probably never get the chance to go there again in my life. And I know it would have been expensive and stupid, but I honestly wish that I just said screw it, because it might never happen again. And it won't. So yeah.
See what happens. Perfect. Well, look, we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
See you in a bit.
Jack Williams.
Bye, everybody.
And Sutty, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
All the best, people.
Great debut.
Great debut. And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.